his remarks yesterday. The updated headline said, "Assailing hate, but not guns."
Right.
Why did they change the headline?
Well, they came under immediate pressure from the left, and specifically from various Democratic presidential candidates.
And that pressure forced them to change the headline,
well,
you think?
I don't know whether it did. I suspect that it weighed pretty heavily. It was an extraordinary thing because their original headline was a simple, straightforward quotation or news representation of what the president actually said. And then suddenly Beto O'Rourke and Cory Booker were saying it was a disgrace.
Let's read some of those headlines. Christian Gillibrand tweeted, "That's not what happened." And then Cory Booker tweeted, "Lives literally depend on you doing better. New York Times, please do." And
okay, I don't know who
tweeted, "Let this front page service."
Hugo Gurdon is of the Washington Examiner is, but I suppose that he's upset because the New York Times had to change the headline. It was a ridiculous headline: "Unity versus Racism." I don't know what that means, but anyway, it was right for the New York Times to change it. And I guess his whole thing is, it points at the so-called liberal left forced the New York Times to change a stupid headline. No, it should have been changed. It should have never got printed. I don't know what that means. Unity versus racism. What? The both of them are in a wrestling match or something? There's a boxing match, a car race? I don't know. A sporting event? They are versing each other. What that headline suggests to me is that there is no racism and unity trumps all. So maybe I've got it wrong. I probably do. But yet again, the New York Times changed that headline. So what's Hugo's point? He has no point. Okay, he knows as well as I do is that newspapers can change anything that they printed now. This only appeared in the print edition of the New York Times, so that went out in the early morning press. Now, I don't know how many times the New York Times prints during the day, but they have the digital edition as well. And so they changed the headline. Got it. What's the big deal? There's no point. But here's what I looked at. I looked at the statement that Ocasio-Cortez made, where she said, it proves, I paraphrase it, it proves that the mainstream institutions are in bed with white nationalism. Well, if she would have done herself a great favor, and I'm still waiting for her to come out with this, she seems a little cowardly in my opinion, in my view. Why don't you just call it what it is? Mainstream media has been in bed with white nationalism all along. How do you think that headline got printed? Only a white supremacist would print the headline like that. Unity versus racism. What the hell is that anyway? Nobody knows. I don't even know if Hugo knows. But the point is that Ocasio-Cortez someday comes out and says, yeah, mainstream media has been in bed with white nationalism since the creation of this country. Well, now she would have hit the nail on the head.